Welcome back to another episode of the Left Lane Dismantle series. Today we're going to be looking at this 2002 Porsche Boxster, and we're going to go ahead and show you how to remove the whole AC condenser, radiator, and electric fan assembly out of the passenger or the driver's side of this Porsche. You'll find a complete duplicate of this on the passenger side, and we're going to go ahead and show you all the tools required to remove this, some of the steps you're going to have to go through, and the general disassembly process. So stay tuned. So looking at our Porsche right now, you're going to see some things that have already happened to get us a little closer to where we need to be to remove this. We went ahead and took off the front bumper, which you can find the link of how to remove your front bumper down below in the description box. And we went ahead and drained the coolant along with the R134 out of the AC lines. So right now our Porsche is sitting high and dry, up in the air, so it's suspended and we can get underneath it, all around it, and into the wheel well. Once your Porsche's gotten to this part, we can go ahead and start removing the AC condenser, radiator, electric fan assembly. Starting behind the assembly with the wheel removed, we're going to go ahead and take off the fender liner. You're going to see it's fastened on with a few retaining clips along with 10mm bolts. You will find a few scattered throughout, and we'll go ahead and get those off. Okay, starting at the fender liner, some of the first things I like to do are take off the retaining clips. It's a two-stage clip, so you get under the first layer, pull it out to about there, and you can get underneath it, and it'll pop right out. Now that we've taken those clips off the inside of the liner goes all the way from the fender all the way to the front of the car, where you will find one more retaining clip right here. Go ahead and just get something in there. Start prying on it. It is one of the two-stage clips. Once you get that first portion out, you should be able to, as you can see, it's kind of broken. And then I went in behind it, above it, and popped it out. Now the retaining clips are out, we'll go ahead and start getting all the 10mm nuts that are plastic from the fender liner. And now we remove the fender liner. Starting from the corners, the inside, pull it out and over. And you gotta untuck it from the fender itself. All right, just like so. There you go. Now the fender liner has been removed from inside the wheel well. We'll go ahead and remove the front air duct. You're gonna have to just take off some T25 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 in total. I'm gonna go for that one and then and number 5, T25. Now that its 5 T25 bolts are out, we can go ahead and take this off. Be prepared, if this has never been off your car, you might find yourself some debris and buildup in here if it's never been off the car. So be prepared to clean that up. And now that this is off, it'll expose the AC lines and the radiator lines, which we can get disconnected to then continue taking it all off. All right, going for the radiator hoses first, we're going to start at the lower hose, which is the only radiator hose we're going to have to remove until we get all of the mount bolts out. And then once it is lowered, we can get to the upper radiator hose. I'm using a 7mm socket on here for the hose clamp. You could also use a flathead, whatever you have at your disposal. And then go ahead and get your hand in there. Slowly. Just kind of wiggle it back and forth. Oh. Always have your drain pan ready for this exact reason. Alright. While we're letting the rest of the radiator fluid drain out of the system, we're going to go ahead and start working on the AC condenser lines now. You'll notice you'll have two lines here. Lower and upper, high pressure, low pressure. They are a 6mm Allen bolt. And when you go to break these free, you'll notice the whole condenser will start moving. This metal's very soft and very easy to flex. And you're going to be putting all this force right here, which is then going to twist everything right here. So what I like to do is use something like an adjustable wrench, maybe some vice grips even, channel lock, and then you can counter hold this while you go to break this free, causing minimal flex in the line, and gives you plenty of force to then break this off without disrupting anything. This AC system was evac'd, drained, put away. If you do not have evac machines at your disposal at your house or your shop, what you could do is take it to a neighboring mechanic shop, and they should evac the system for you, potentially for a small fee, and they will contain all the R134 or whatever Freon is being used in your system. Now that we have the lower radiator hose removed along with the AC condenser lines, one of the last things connecting it that we're going to have to take care of before undoing the main mounting bolts and getting to the upper radiator hoses is this electrical pigtail right here. This is for your electric fan along with your ambient temperature sensors if they're on this side. You'll see the clip, the plug is clipped all the way in the back against this assembly. You just pull the plug towards you, and I'll unclip it from the assembly, and then you can pull the plug out into the open, where you'll see you'll just have the classic push tabs on either side of the clip. And you just pull on those and pop it out. Alright, now that we have that back electrical connector unplugged, that lower radiator hose removed, our AC condenser lines, the only lines being left on this whole assembly are the upper radiator hose and the return line. But to get to those, we will have to lower the whole assembly, so we'll remove the 13mm mounting bolts, which are located underneath 1 and 2, with a third on the back side. They're all 13mm and all that teal color. So now that we're going to be taking off this last 13mm bolt, you're going to want to go ahead and have quickly being able to grab it nearby. Your tool to get the upper hose clamp off, along with some needle nose pliers to then get the return line off for the radiator. It'll make sense in a few clips. Alright, now your 3 mounting bolts are removed. You can go ahead and just slide the assembly out, like so. And you can see we have our upper return line and our upper radiator hoses. Once we have those removed, we can completely grab the assembly. So they have these really great hose pliers that are specific for this purpose. You can see that they're rounded in the middle. They have various sizes for various hoses. It's really great because you can just wrap it just like this, and then you break it free left and right first. Break it free left and right, and then you can just slowly left and right, left and right. Wiggle it right on off the car. You can do this with normal pliers as well, but it's a little trickier, and these are really made for it. Alright, now we're going to go for the upper radiator hose. I am going to use that 7mm 1/4 inch socket on this driver versus trying to get a flathead screwdriver in here. I just find it easier to get a socket on the nut and just start walking it back. You do need tools to work on your car, but once you have the tools, then it's just getting the knowledge, and if you have the tools and the knowledge, you're pretty unstoppable. Well worth the investment. This hose is a little bigger, so we can just kind of grab it by our hand, twist it off. And there you go. We have the whole assembly in hand. Got electric fan, radiator, and condenser. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Left Lane Dismantle series. We hope to see you again. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, parts for this Porsche, along with many other European and Japanese cars, can be found online on our storefronts, whether that's our personal website or our eBay page. Find all the links down below in the description box, along with all of our social media and anything else you might find useful, including the tool list of everything we use today. We'll see you next time on the Left Lane Dismantle series. Look at her. She's beefy. Oh yeah, she's wet.